No, bullshit. Tell me I didn't have it like that 3 fucking times. Tell me I didn't have it like that 3 times. Welcome to episode, I don't know, 15. Tell me I didn't fucking have it like that. Fuck you for that, bro. I had that shit. Is this a miracle or what? It's bullshit's what it is. I fucking had that. I did that 3 fucking times. I googled it. I looked it up to make sure I wasn't crazy, and every fucking source was like, yeah, it's just bullshit. You can get it right 20 times, and it's just not gonna work until it wants to work. Fuck. No one could possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. I'm beyond mad. I'm beyond fucking mad, dude. No, it can't be. I'm fucking pissed, dude. I don't even give a shit anymore.
Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this.
Although we enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So the Badger thing was actually just a jar. Doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then, tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? The location? Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yeah, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on the shelf in the office of Damon Gant. Objection. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yeah, and it's these 2 facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office. You implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there is a reason.
Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
Finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. I have no idea. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. The man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on. What would he have hit?
The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword.
Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through with this. Oh, wait! Are we gonna say that when Emma shoved him? Oh my god, wait!
Mr. Wright, what's the matter?
The events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Holy shit.
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No!
No fucking way! Holy shit! I never imagined her testimony would lead to this.
So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
Holy shit.
Objection! What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances,
Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
I imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall?
Evidence?
I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly will be difficult to prove this with evidence.
If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties in the incident are dead.
We certainly can't get dead people to testify, not without Maya and Mia. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touche, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another.
That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a method exist?
The real murderer's name's in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
Is it that? This is the message left by the deceased.
This is that blue badger from before, right?
Oh, is he just going to speak the killer's name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here on the surface of the jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on the fragments was not wiped away.
Yes, there's a line here drawn in blood.
So what you're saying is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used these few precious moments left to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. So all we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent.
No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written given these circumstances, his murderer's name. Oh, wow. Oh, ooh, I don't want to. Ooh, that's why I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Dude, I don't remember how this ends.
Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life
was Emma Sky. Dude. How did they get out of this one?
Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you.
Chief Gant.
Do you understand the implications of what you've done?
What are you talking about?
2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not?
Uh,
Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
Objection! But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't just defenders of justice.
What?
We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death! How can he just stand there? Order! 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 The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial's headed, no one knows. That's crazy. It's gonna play the music. Alright, Doug. Trial ladder. Yo, we're at the end. We're at the end, bro. This is it. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, pal, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give you this today if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was only talking about this just the other day. So rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. And then, what's number 2? They mentioned rule number 2, I forgot. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, Detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown out at me? Mr. Edgeworth! The real trial today hasn't even begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility has been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Sky found out she's unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer's still out there. What? We're gonna expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt one too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm pumped. I'm fired up. I'm fired up, bro. It's time. It's fucking time, bro.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose a harsh penalty for your actions.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there's some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable. Edgeworth found a way to continue the trial? Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial's as good as over. The defense calls... Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he still should be somewhere in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. All right, bailiff. Please escort Mr. Gant to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch.
Your name and occupation, sir.
Worthy, are you sure you want to do this?
Your name and occupation.
So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto. What's with the grim face?
First, let's clear up the SL9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There's still some things unaccounted for.
Oh, like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal?
Weapons?
Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning them that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see! Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast. Alright. Hold it. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was the defendant, Lana Skye, also present in the room?
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it.
So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky.
What's this about a power outage?
Oh, that! The elevator stopped all of a sudden, and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil when that knife went through his heart, though.
That's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw?
It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together.
Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor?
Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls.
Lana and Emma.
Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Apparently, she'd already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Hold on. How can you know that?
Because the victim's body, it had already been moved.
So that means you found the body near Lana's desk.
That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor.
Yes.
Anyway, as you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Hold on. So you're saying the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at the office?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances.
Staring down the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're gonna stare at anything, you better be staring at the court record. Okay, so hold on. What do I have? That does nothing for me right now. Oh! There it is. If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this?
What's that? And what's that on it? A handprint?
Chief Gant, your explanation, please.
I don't know. You tell me, son.
Huh?
My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law?
Oh, not this again, evidence law.
Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is this rag relevant to this trial? It appears the defense was not prepared.
Guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence.
Please accept my profound apologies, Chief.
Oh, wait. Oh, shit. That actually didn't count because it's not... Oh, shit. Okay, wait. So that's there. But that counts. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that's a claim you cannot back up.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example.
That's the list Emma Sky drew a picture on.
This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar was sitting in your office. It was found inside your safe.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you played a part in an illegal investigation.
Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Huh. Here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admit it then, that you were involved in the forgery?
Who, me? Or do you mean you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do it too. Isn't that right, Righto?
Objection. However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation.
Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together.
That you are a criminal?
Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when these pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Arranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I'm the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Archie. In return, though. I know. That place, right?
What, are these guys telepathic? What the fuck are they talking about? I have no idea what they're talking about, dude. I don't even want to get into it. Okay, wait. So what am I doing? What am I doing? Can you prove when these pieces of evidence were discovered? I feel like I definitely can. Let me save. I probably need to press something, but like fuck it. That doesn't work. No reason you participate in the forgery? I know it's that. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just jumping the gun. I have no fucking idea, dude. Has the screwdriver been useful at all yet? Like, has that mattered at all? We've still yet to do anything about that name and that number. I do want to try something, though. Well, let me press everything. Let me just be 100% sure. I'd appreciate if you stopped making these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped...
Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Raito's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, this would prove his investigation was illegal.
Oh, my nose is bothering me. It's itchy. What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
Concealing evidence found at the crime scene isn't forgery.
I'm not through speaking yet, Raito. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced.
Hold on. Hold on. I want to try something. I want to try two things. They said that the one had a tag on it. Okay, that doesn't work. Oh, rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help him in any way. I don't think that is accurate, though. Is it? Is it? Really, Chief Gant? At the very least, there's one large benefit you've reaped from all this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would be, of course, the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh! The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth? Yeah, he was gonna become chief anyway. Ah!
Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. You didn't do it for yourself, and you did it for someone else.
Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Archie, would you mind if I change my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. I know what I need to do, I just don't know how the fuck to, like, prove that. Do I have any evidence for what I'm trying to say? Like, at all? God, I wish it was like in the newer games where you can present, like, people. Oh, come on. I'll press him on it. Nothing in it for you.
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again.
You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone.
Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised.
You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though.
That's a good one, Worthy.
Could there have been something in it for him, given his selfishness? Would he have helped someone out? Point out accomplice, point out accomplice. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to betray the chief. As a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
It's not what I mean at all.
Very well, then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
I'm gonna announce that in the next episode. We're gonna save that for the next one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.